Thank you for your love. Thank you for your fellowship. Thank you for your tender mercies. Thank you, Lord, for all things in your name. We ask you to help us to say something that will help us to understand your kingdom much better. We give you praise, we give you the glory and the honor. Amen.
Amen.
I'm rolling. Thank you. Here we go, another Sunday. What is this, the 8th of...
Shoot. Wait.
That's a problem with...
Okay, stop. It reconnected.
All right.
We'll try it again.
Let me know if you can hear me.
Mm-hmm.
Those of you that join in to listen, text me, call me, do whatever. I'll put my phone. With modern technology, you can't be that technical about it because that's what it does. That's the things that it do. It just cuts out or whatever. So That's why I like this kind of environment. Sometimes you don't have to get all techie about it. You don't have to get all upset because you know it's subject to drop. It's subject to just not work.
Right.
But anyway, there was something that I decided to look at myself this week, and I think I've covered pretty much every one of the concepts that can be covered about a kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back into, if you have this book, chapter 5, I haven't picked a chapter that I wanted to teach out of, do like a series out of, like I did giving. I myself thought I understood giving to a king, but after going through that understanding the kingdom concept of giving to a king, after I went back over it, I really, really got a lot out of it again. That's just a workbook. I don't think that's not. Yeah.
This one like this? Then?
Yeah, that's not like that. That's a workbook.
Yeah, I can't look at it for
I don't think hold on. In my bag right there, if you bring it to me, I think I have another one in
I
there.
don't go in the purse. I don't bag. I was raised that way. I'm gonna say, go get my purse.
Don't look in there.
Just
I
get
have
the purse.
But I have a bunch of those. That's my Sunday school book.
You got a bunch of these?
Yeah, I think we own about 3 or 4 of them. And I plan, if I need to, order some more.
Order me one.
Okay.
I have one.
So I'll try to get you a hardback because that's a salt. But that's on page 97. On page 97. And what I was, again, let me know if this clicks out on you that are listening by Facebook. Kingdom concept number 2. And what I like about this is it helps us to understand, first of all, what a concept. When my wife first started reading this, she was going over just the word concept itself. Concept is a word that means original idea.
Okay. We talked about that?
Original idea is a concept. In other words, if you sit there right now and you got an idea, then you got to pick that idea and put it into action. And no one would really know what you're talking about unless we go back to the person who put forth the original idea. He got a thought. It starts with a what? A thought. Ideas are thoughts. You get a thought on your head. I want to be a king. I want to have a kingdom. And I want to expand my territory. All of that starts with you. Starts with you. Whoever you are who comes up with the original idea.
Right.
It started with thoughts. That's how God had wired us as human beings. Even in the morning, right now, you're not just going to wake up and go where you got to go. You are thinking
What you gonna do?
what you're going to do tomorrow. There's nothing wrong with that. You lay down at night, you go to sleep. Because it helps you to prioritize, right?
Yes.
If you know you got to be to work at 8, you don't want to wake up at 7:59 talking about I got to be to work at 8.
Right.
And you know you consider the traffic. You consider you might have a flat. You consider how much gas. See, your ideals make you start thinking of other things that could get in your way that you have to address. And then there becomes the way that your culture gets involved. Because for me at my job, I know I have to be at work sometime at 7:30. Sometimes I have to be at 8. I start thinking Sunday night. I lay out my clothes. I know in the hospital you're not supposed to have cologne, so I don't want to smell bad. So if I'm gonna wear cologne, I put it on Sunday night, spray it on my shirt. So by Monday morning, it done kind of faded out a little bit. The smell is not a great. Just a little. See, all of these things I start thinking of, which becomes ways that I would say if I was going to teach someone is you don't wait to Monday morning to start thinking these things. You got a plan. That's exactly the word I'm looking for. You plan it out. You lay it out. So God planned all of this out. This is not stuff that he just woke. We were having this conversation on the job and we was talking about creation. And you don't do God a service if you think day one he created this, day two he created that. Man, it was years in expand. Because it takes creative thinking to bring stuff into existence. God's original plan, all along, original concept, was to extend his heavenly kingdom, which is invisible, which is spiritual, into a natural world. Right. Now, you know that takes planning. But it takes extra planning if you're not going to control the subjects. Yeah. Think about it.
If you're not controlling it.
If I'm not going to control the subjects and yet I want to move my king, how am I going to get that done? That means they're going to have to love me. They're going to have to desire me. They're going to have to love me. And it's only going to work if they do. Right. Because think about it. If he wanted to do it and you don't love him, you won't sit down and talk to him, you won't spend no time. It isn't no different in a relationship with a person. Right. You're not going to find out. You're not going to know what it is he want to get done. It's just that simple. So it takes that thought process. Now, how am I going to do this when I know I am not going to control the people?
Right. That's right.
Let's let that sink in for me. I'm going to move my kingdom that is spiritual and invisible to an earthly realm, but I'm going to do it in a way where I'm not having robots. I'm not going to, I'll give their attention, but I won't control their choice. Yes. And let's think about that. Moses, he got Moses' attention, but he didn't control Moses' choice. We all know how he got Moses' attention, right? Through the what? Burning bush. The burning bush is what he used. Good guess. The burning bush is what he used to get Moses' attention, but Moses did not have to stick around and ask questions about why is this bush burning and it's not burned up. That's true. So let's bring it to ourselves. That's what's so unique about this. The other unique thing about this is as a king, he was going to make every one of his citizens equal in power with him. Shared power. That is unique. That is unique because it's hard for people today just to sit down and share food. Share time to share conversation. I mean, we're so closed off and don't want to talk and so impersonal. He's not only sharing his time with you and his conversation with you, he is sharing his power with you. Yes. That is very unique. And that's a unique individual that is even, and that's why, as we're starting out trying to see the original idea of doing this, or the original concept, God had this idea in his head through thoughts. And he laid out a plan as to how he's going to do it. And I really like the fact that we cannot control the next person. You cannot mess with that person's ability to choose. And I like the other part of this when we were studying in Giving to the King is that it shows that we trust his ownership, that we'll never be able to own it. We become better stewards. I mean, some people my mother-in-law used to tell me all the time, don't want to be personal, but a lot of nurses couldn't get out on time because they don't know how to manage their time. It's called time management. Organized. My wife is very good at it. My mother-in-law is good at it. They're the most organized people I've ever seen in my life. Therefore, it's time management, and people who are well organized are time efficient. They know what they want to do, how they want to do it, and when they want to do it. And if you're going to help them, you got to find out, how can I help you? Their routine. Don't get in there and try to change their routine. Get in there and say, what can I do? Okay, you beat the eggs. Okay, you take the eggs out and put them over. And most of the time, that's why most people like to work by themselves, because most folk hinder your flow. That's what I was about to say. I guarantee you, you go out to work and you brought me along with you. Mac, I want you to cut me off 2x4s, 6 inches and 6 3/4, and I cut it off 6 and a half. Talking about that, you don't need that extra quarter on that.
Yeah.
Do that a couple more times, and after a while, as much friends as you and I are, you're gonna be saying you ain't going with me no more. Wouldn't you say that? Yeah. I mean, see, it's all of a sudden it's not about our friendship anymore. Right. It's about what you hindering my process, my progress. Right. That man had paid me X amount of dollars to get this done in a week, and you out here with your own thoughts and ideas. Oh, I'm about to get with your own thoughts and ideas instead of doing what it is I told you to do. You out here with your own thoughts and ideas. Ooh, don't shake the tape. Oh, there we go. Thank you. You gonna mess with his flow. And after a while, it's going. See, I mean, just if you're thinking about it from that angle, isn't that what we let people come into our lives and do? Yeah. We're trying to go somewhere, and he or she is going the opposite direction, and they're messing with your flow. Yeah. Yes. And then you're all frustrated about why they won't change. See, no, what he needs to do to me is say, Mac, you're gonna stay friends, but you ain't working.
Right. I can bring you out.
Yeah. I went to work with my cousin once, and we were cutting grass. When I finished, he said, "That's all right. You don't have to come back tomorrow." You don't have to come back tomorrow. When you looked over at that grass, you understood why. I had that grass looking like Skippy Doo that day, brother. I ain't gonna lie. I messed that woman's yard up. And he said, "No, you're not coming back with me no more." See, it's like you got to get past friendship. That's when you know you're growing up. There's nothing personal. That's why right now I'm not trying to really rush back in to work with a whole lot of people. It's nothing personal because we're not going. It's just that simple. We're not going the same direction. Yeah. You may not be going the direction God is going in. God is a king. God's trying to extend his kingdom. You're trying to build an organization. You're trying to build a religion. It's okay to admit that God, this is what I want to do. I want to build an organization. I want to build a religion. And you and God just not on the same page. I'm really finding out it's not really even about people being healed, people about being delivered, and it's really about God extending his kingdom. And when his kingdom is around, these things automatically take place. Yes. So what's the most important part? Not the healing and the delivering. No, the most important part is the kingdom. That's why he says in Matthew 6:33, seek ye first, target at, aim at, strive for the kingdom. Hit that. In other words, if you were going to set up a dart on that table and I'm telling you to aim at that dart, it gives you something to aim at. It gives you something to your focus. All of your focus is on this. And that's where I am. I mean, my focus now is not really on all of that other stuff that I thought it should have been on. It's more now on the kingdom in the discussion. Right. And the understanding what the word kingdom there means. Mm-hmm. And it's really one word that it boils down to is dominion. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's really what he wants me to seek is dominion. He wants me to rule and control. Mm-hmm. And how am I going to rule and control? He is going to rule through me so he can rule and control that area and territory that I'm in, the region. That's why he said they were the salt of the earth. Look that word earth up and you're going to get the word region. The reason why they were not the salt of Fairfield, the region of Fairfield, California, because they didn't live in Fairfield, California. Right. It's just that simple. Mm-hmm. The reason why you're not the region of Richmond, you don't live in Richmond. Mm-hmm. But wherever you are, if you are in connection with God, God will get that chance to rule that region through you. Mm-hmm. It's just that simple. Mm-hmm. So I was looking at the word Lord, Lord. We've gone through this once, but I was just going back over it again. And the only time in a democracy or a republic or a socialist societies, the only time you hear the word Lord is put on the end of what? landlord. That's the only time you're going to hear that word pretty much used is the word landlord. And we know what the landlord, generally we in America or in these societies, we say that the landlord is the what of that land? Owner. See, we don't have, so we know what lord means.
Right.
Because of the concept landlord. We kind of like, that don't flip our, but when it comes to the kingdom, we kind of like act like we don't know, okay, Jesus is my Lord. That means he what?
He owns you.
He owns you. Can you do anything in that landlord's building without his permission first? No.
You be stealing.
I would. Well, you could, but would it be legal? Could he come back and say to you, give me all that you just put in there? That belongs to me.
That belongs to me.
Because you didn't ask his permission. Right. You didn't go through the landlord. Right. You didn't ask the landlord was it okay to do that. Right. I wanted to get, I was talking to my wife. I don't mind this going out because they gave me professional advice and they helped me. I said, I know the guy said we can't have a pet here. And I was thinking about going to a doctor. There's a thing where you can adopt a dog, adopt a pet, and you don't really have to own it. You can just
pay for it.
Or foster it, for like a foster parent.
Yeah.
And the girl said to me, you don't really, you never get, in other words, the foster care says it's a pet. Here, hold it for us until we can find someone who wants to adopt it.
Right.
And the first thing she said to me, the first thing we're going to do is check with your landlord to see if that's okay.
Right.
I already knew what my landlord said. It's in my contract. We cannot have a pet.
That's why we don't pet considered as though.
Yeah, well, anyhow, you're right. Now that part I never asked. I could have a hamster.
Yeah, that's true.
But a pet is a pet still. Or a pet.
Yeah, so I should have asked him to be clear on what you mean. But I knew he said no pets allowed. So he was mostly, when they say that, they're speaking of one animal.
Yeah,
right.
Dog. So, because dogs mess up stuff, pretty much.
Cat too.
So, if I don't want no cats. You got to tell me that. My grandma messed me up with that cat business. No, Lord, cats are too much for me. But anyway, I understand that concept by understanding a landlord.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
When I understand the landlord, I cannot just do what I want to do to his property. So, because he owns it, the responsibility is not on me, it's on who? And I expect him now. Let's just talk about the responsibilities of the landlord. When that fence break,
it ain't your problem.
It ain't my problem.
It can look ugly all it wants to.
Because it ain't my house.
It ain't my house.
He is the owner of this house. I am just someone who renting it from him, occupying it for him, trying to keep it up for him. But if anything goes down,
he has to repair.
He's got to repair. The responsibility. See, Jesus has a responsibility for you. If you say he is your what? Lord. He is your owner. He has a responsibility. So the problem is we like to do stuff.
We get in the way. We want to fix it.
He is trying to say, I'll take responsibility for that part of your life. I can fix that part of your life. And you, I'm doing good. I know you own me, but I got this. I got this. I can handle this. And you be messing it up, just tearing it up.
Wrecking it.
Just tearing it up. I hope this is kind of clear for you, for us sitting here.
Yes.
But yet, the concept of Lord is a fundamental principle of a kingdom. Every kingdom must have a king. Every kingdom must have a king. But here's what I like. The king is automatically the Lord.
Yes.
He is automatic owner. You don't vote it. You don't pray for it.
Yeah.
If he's a king, he's automatic Lord. No voting. It is a quality of lordship that distinguishes a king from a president. And we know right now our president is trying to say, let me have more control. If you let me do this here. Yeah, let me do this. Let me do it. Let me have more power. Let me. But see, a democracy is not set up that way. You can't. They've already. This been in place for years. And they have three branches of government, and not one can supersede the other.
Right.
So therefore, you can't like a king. A king is sovereign. Look at this on page 97, just that last paragraph there. It said, in the last chapter, we talk about a king's sovereignty. Do you not know when you look at the word dominion, one of the words in dominion is sovereign? Sovereignty? Master. Ruler. But you have to learn that he is trying to say, I own you. I want you to master and rule. Let me teach you how to do it. Let me show you, because I know you don't know how to do it. Let me show you how to do it. Right. Let me show you how to rule your area. Let me show you how to rule your life. Let me show you how to rule your region. Because you don't know how. But he is free from external control, and he can do whatever he pleases with accountability to no one except himself. Now, I don't know how much power you got. That's pretty.
You got power.
You say what you want. That scares America right there. I can understand why America don't want a king. Because to give someone absolute power like that, where they're only controlled and responsible to themselves.
They don't want that.
Now, all I have to say is I don't like black people, and if I'm the king, I'm going to get rid of every one of them. Ain't a thing you can say.
Can't do nothing.
I looked up yesterday on YouTube how many kingdoms or how many countries have kings today. I did it on YouTube, and I found it quite interesting. Even the Pope is considered a king, but it doesn't use that title because he doesn't have to answer to anyone. But they gave an analogy of like 12 different countries. Saudi Arabia was one. We all knew that.
Yeah.
That Saudi is still ran by a king, even though they have put in. I found it kind of interesting the way this guy explained it. I would have to listen to it at least 20 more times so I can get it. But the bottom line is they have parliamentary procedures. They have other stuff, but the kings still have absolute power. Right. And it's not a whole lot of those in the world, is what they were saying. It's only 12 or 24, but not all 12 or 24 of those have absolute power. And I found that to be interesting, okay, because when it came to God, he had absolute power and control, authority. He sends Jesus to the earth in the form of a human being, and Jesus makes statements that let us know all power and authority has been given where? To me. All power and authority. Power is, as one of the ladies was saying, she said, I was just studying this. One of the pastor's wife was talking to me about a month ago. I was just looking at this, and I never understood the difference, she said, between power and authority. Right. I said, let me help you. Right. Power deals with ability, while authority deals with responsibility. Ability, power, responsibility, authority. You do not give someone responsibility without knowing to check to see if they have what? Ability.
Carry it out.
You got to have the ability to. Well, let's give Donald Trump and say he's a businessman. Has he ever ran a country though? No. Has he ever ran a government? See, running a government with three branches of government is different from running a business. They finding out now. Oh my God. He didn't even know what the Constitution is really all about. Oh, we made, now some of them are admitting, we have made a mistake. Right. We gave somebody a power without making sure he had a ability to carry. We gave him responsibility without checking to see if he had the ability to do this. And he's in there just, he has no clue. He doesn't stick to anything. And he's trying to run it like, I really believe when they said the other day, he's trying to run it like a business, and it's not ran like a business. You got to run it like a government. Yeah. I know you don't like the three branches of government. You didn't put it in place.
Thank you.
The founding
And you
fathers
can't
did.
execute it.
And you cannot destroy it because
It's already
it's already established. So you either get in there and learn how to make it work,
You get out.
or you get out. Because you're not going to change it.
That's
Ain't no need to asking them to let you have more power. It ain't going to happen. It just ain't going to happen. Not because reason why it can't happen, you have a constitution. And because you have a constitution, you have to go back to your constitution and make your laws from your constitution.
He's trying to change.
You can't change it unless you change your constitution. That's what you got to change first. And I just don't see them going to allow you to do that. That's just me. A king's servant is absolute. He is neither voted into nor voted out of power. Can't do it. Oh, the other thing I was learning about kings, a lot of the kings that are existing today, their children don't automatically become
The king.
king today. Only a few where the heirs are, the son is born, or they have heirs in the family that they automatically become next in line to be. But a bunch of them don't have that today. So but with this, the way God set up His kingdom is just that way, and the concept of understanding the kingdom and the concept of a Lord is that Jesus would have lost his had he not did what we celebrated last week. That's why he told him his kingdom would last how long? Forever. Why would it go on forever? It can't go on forever if you die. Because when the king dies and he has no heirs, his kingdom stops. But the good part about this is the king died, but he's not what?
Dead.
He's not dead. So therefore his kingdom lives on. And he has heirs. Paul said we are what? Joint heirs with Christ. So we take on and rule the earth. That's called ambassadors.
Right.
In his stead. Vice regents is another word. We are to rule in his stead. We ought to make laws in his stead. We ought to disagree with laws that they make in his stead. So, all kings are automatically lords. They are the ones who have power. Even when I looked it up, I ain't gonna bother because my wife got it set up there. But I looked it up in the kids' dictionary. No. Someone who has power and authority.
Yes.
When you look up the word Lord. Jesus has this power and authority. It always troubles me when I hear people say Jesus is my Lord. And they really have no concept of what they just said. You actually just said Jesus owns you. And when somebody owns you, they tell you when to come.
Yeah.
When to go. It's just like parents. They're not that they be in that house.
Nah, be able to the street lights come on.
Okay, right.
And I'm kind of like that way with mine. You don't just jump on your bicycle and leave this house without telling me where you're going.
No.
Why? Because I'm what?
Responsible.
I'm responsible for you.
Yeah.
They're not going to come looking for you. They're going to come looking for me.
That's right.
And they're not going to talk about you. In that way, I understand that principle. The same principle applies to God. When you say Jesus is your Lord, you are saying he owns you. He tells you when to go. He tells you when to come in. He tells you when to go out. He tells you what to... All right, we'll just stop there. He is your Lord. He owns you. So let's flip over to page 98.
So what's the difference between the king and the Lord?
Now here's that's an interesting. I want to have some interesting conversations this year with the Louisiana group. I got something. I'm gonna propose a question to them, and we'll come back and discuss it next week. But with this one, this was something I said. I don't want to just fly through this. I want to stop and think because we hear most of us been in church, have heard all of these words, and we sit there and like me, is there a difference? Somebody said to me one time, I said, seek ye first the kingdom of God. Well, isn't that Jesus? Well, how come Jesus didn't say seek me first? No. He said, even Jesus said this, it is my Father's good pleasure to give unto you the kingdom. Now, he could have said, it's my Father's good pleasure to give unto you me. No, his Father's good pleasure to give unto you power, dominion. That's what God want to give unto you.
Thank you. Hallelujah.
Where Jesus is the Lord and the owner of this. Here, let's go through this. Let's walk through this real slow. So what's the difference between a king and a Lord? Just like there's a difference between power and authority. See, when you sit and you get the answers to this stuff, it kind of helps you out going through life. Help you when you hear people talking. Help you when you, what is the difference? I mean, power, why would Jesus say that? Why didn't he just say all power has been given unto me? That we would have said that, oh, Jesus controlled everything. Because he knew there was a difference when he was talking between power and authority. We just didn't know. And when somebody sent, I saved something on Facebook the other day that says, when you're uncertain, 10 times or 15 times to keep silent, when you're uncertain of the answer, was one of those times. That I'm good at that. When I really don't know, and I know I really haven't studied and looked at it. But see, I'm vocal about the kingdom now because I look at it a lot.
Right.
I study it a lot. I'm really looking deep into it. And this page got my attention. What was the difference between a king and a lord? Lordship is only one aspect of a king's overall identity and status. Walk slow with it. Lordship, the quality or state of being a lord, is only one aspect. It's not the whole aspect. It's only one. But it is one side of the most important ones. But it is one of the most important ones. One way to put it is to say that the king relates to what?
Dominion.
Dominion. While the Lord relates to domain. Two different words. Dominion is authority, power, absolute rule, and the word Lord relates to the word domain. Think about the word domain. Domain would be what?
Certain control.
Territory. Watch it. Dominion relates to the king. When you look up the word dominion, you're going to get the word,
To be established as a ruler.
Ruler. There you go. Sovereign. Yeah. Sovereign rule. Now, think about it. You have dominion, but you have no territory.
I got it now.
You see? I got that absolute power. I can make all the rules.
But you ain't got no.
But I ain't got nothing that gonna follow the rule. I'm talking to the chair, the table.
Okay.
I'm talking to the book. Get up, book. The book didn't move. The book. See, you gotta have a domain over which to have that dominion. That dominion. It's no good just to have dominion and not have a domain.
Or domain and no domain.
Or just the opposite. I got territory, but I ain't got no control over it. I can't make no rules. They all vote me out.
They just running wild.
Can we walk slow and really get this?
Yeah.
Because this came back to my heart, and I just said,
wow.
This is what I said. I said, you know what? And then I was thinking, I said, I want to go real slow, even for me. And I want to go slow enough to get this. Because sometimes if you just understand certain words, everything else starts to connect. So I was sitting and I was looking at this. Okay, domain, king refers to domain. He makes the rules. Absolute power, control, all of those. Oh God, I don't want to go in there and mess with my phone. Get that word. But that's what Adam had. But not only did Adam have a dominion, he also had a domain. The Garden of Eden. Even though it's technically not a place on earth, because they can't find it nowhere. So it was symbolic.
Right.
Was it?
Yeah. They ain't been to find it nowhere. They ain't been able to find it nowhere. So it wasn't really. See, that's why I tell people some of the Bible is written is literally as it's spoken. Some of it is symbolic in what it's trying to say. And when I forgot the other word that I used to metaphor. It's a metaphor. You eat like a horse, or the spirit like a dove. The spirit is not a dove; it's a metaphor. It represents
the rivers. And
you should be like a tree planted by the rivers of water. The river, actually, when you look it up in the book of Psalms and you follow the content, it's actually people. It was people. Try to get something done without people. Let me see you do it.
That's right.
Even Jesus came through. He didn't do it alone. He picked him out. What? 12 guys.
That's right.
Need a river, honey.
Right.
You need people. See, you're not gonna get this done without people. Well, if I need people, where are the folks? He ain't told you to go select them.
That's right.
He didn't tell you. Let me show you how it was. On the day of Pentecost, who added 3,000 souls to the church?
Jesus.
Yeah. The Spirit of God. Fill them with the Holy Ghost. You can't fill them with the Holy Ghost. You can't do nothing. What is your job? To be there, and when God needs you, He calls on you. He puts in you special abilities to do. You don't even have the ability to do it.
Hallelujah.
Every one of those gifts is called special abilities. Yes, you can be gifted and yet be short-staffed and short-changed in yourself. Have issues within yourself.
Right.
And still be gifted.
Yes.
David was a good example.
Yeah.
Caused more chaos in your house.
Sin more time than anything.
Sin more than any of them.
But he was blessed.
But God was with him.
God was with him.
So it's about relationship.
Yeah.
It's you can't bring it to any other conclusion. And God, who is King, might say, "You don't tell me I can't love Steve. I don't see why you want Steve. He goes out there and all he do all day is build houses. Yeah, but I talk to him while he's building them houses. I don't talk to you. You're supposed to be sitting in front of me. So you don't get to control who God is talking to.
That's true.
We would love to.
Right.
Because that's why most people think if you ain't in church every morning, God can't be talking to you. That's baloney.
Yeah.
That ain't true. He was talking to you. It would be like you and I have a relationship. And I don't base it on where you go, how many times you go, what you look like, how many times you go to work. If I'm gonna talk to you, I'm gonna talk to you.
That's right.
And if I'm not gonna talk to you, I ain't talking to you.
Same way with people.
Same way. It's just no different. I mean, I don't understand why people make it so tough, but it's no different. It is either I talk to you or I don't.
Just like you explained to my son.
Yeah.
You told him this is a building, like the church is a building, but you don't have to be in a church because you are the church.
Yeah, right. And there again, we don't focus more on people becoming the church.
Right.
Than we do on folk going to church.
Right,
All the emphasis on go, not on become. So therefore, the people think because they go, they have become. Two different words.
Right.
And it's just like today. We look at Lord and King, and we go, Jesus is King and Jesus is Lord. And we don't see the different aspects of those two words.
Get the meaning. Just get the meaning.
Just get the meaning
of it.
When you get the meaning, you get what it is that Jesus really is. He is both Lord and Christ. He is Lord and God. But when it came to the earthly realm, he is saying one of them means this, dominion as king. Matter of fact, when they asked him, Pilate say, "Are you king of the Jews?" Why didn't he ask him, "Are you Lord of the Jews?" In other words, is this the dominion that you have? When I looked that word king up, it means foundation.
Oh.
Yeah. Are you the foundation of the Jews? Jesus said, yeah, you got it. Yeah, I am the very foundation. I am the one that's been talked about for years. I am their beginning, and I am their end. They didn't treat him that way, though, did they?
No.
And he says they are.
How would they have that much understanding of the difference, and then don't treat them like that?
Because it's choice. Everything is, it goes back to what we were saying in the beginning. Everything is choice. He cannot make you. So then it has to be just you. I'm telling you, that word, the key word to it is that word seek.
Yes.
I mean, we in church, we don't talk about SEEK there. We talk about the kingdom. We talk about what's first. We talk about, but we don't talk that. When my wife explained that word seek there, it's a Greek word which means covet earnestly, which you get the word desire. Mm-hmm. I cannot mess with your desire. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It would be like, why would a person desire a person who gonna slap them upside the head?
Every 5 minutes.
Every 5 minutes he's hitting you. Why do you desire that? You have to, I don't know. It's crazy to me. I know if you slap me once, I'm skeptical of you from here on out. And I'm going to be watching your hand, not your mouth. Mm-hmm. Now, if you bite me, I'm going to be watching your mouth. Because you got a habit of biting people, Marv Averett.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson. See, if I was boxing Mike Tyson in my ears, I would never lean my head up in there. No, I wouldn't. Because I know not only might he punch me, he might also bite me. So it's that seek, S-E-E-K, is your key word, which means covet earnestly, which means to desire. No one can mess with your desire because your desire controls everything you have. It controls from the car that you drive, to the house that you're in, to the shoes that you wear, to the clothes that you buy. You never looked at something that you really desire and said, I ain't buying that. If you really, really desired it, you have it. You have it because you desired it.
You desired it. You wanted it.
You wanted that. And just look at the stuff that you really, 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 really wanted. You did not stop until you got it. My wife made a peach cobbler, and she really wanted it, even though it wasn't kind to her at the end of the week.
But she ate that peach cobbler.
And she said, I ain't doing that again. I understand, but I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at her at all, brother. I was happy all week long. I ate peach cobbler night and day. Honey, make it again. Peach cobbler, please be good to her. It said, no. If she desired me, I'm going to put something on you, baby. I'm going to give you something. And when you step on that scale, it's like the...
Yeah, I am.
I was watching this Facebook thing. These two dogs wanted to take a walk. And the owner wouldn't get up out of the bed. So finally, what they did, they went, they did something and stuck a scale. And when she would step on the scale, the two dogs would put their foot on the scale. So she moved it somewhere else. And the two dogs would get behind and they stuck their foot on the scale. And she grabbed a leash and went. That cracked me up because them two dogs wanted to walk so bad, they go, we're going to make you hurt. Yeah, right. Well, you looking down at this scale, but underneath they got their paws matching down.
You going to lose some pounds.
You're going to lose some pounds. You're going to get up out of here. That's what they were saying. That was so funny. But that's your key. Yeah. And we wonder why. Well, why do people just, and they knew all this about, it's desire.
Yes.
See, it wasn't because they were so special that they could just do whatever they want to get away with. Nobody's that special. Mm-hmm. Remember I said about, I'm going out to work with, you have something you wanted to do. You want to get this house done in a week. You know you can do this in a week, but I'm messing you up. Right. I'm messing you up. You got to cut me loose. See, they knew all God really wanted them to do. Mm-hmm. All he really wanted Israel to do was to love him. Mm-hmm. With all their heart, with all their soul, all their mind, and all their strength. That's all he wanted out of it. In other words, don't put no other God before me. Make me first in your life. I'm going to teach you my ways. I'm going to teach you what I want. I'm going to be good to you. As a matter of fact, if I'm sitting there and say, I'm not going to let diseases come up on you. I'm not going to let your enemy overtake you. But you got something you got to do. Mm-hmm. What you got to do? You got to make me first. Don't put no one else above me.
Desire me.
Obey me when I tell you to do something. Why? Because I own you.
Yeah. Follow me.
Follow me whenever I say go.
Yeah.
You know that. I mean, all of that. I can write all that on the board, but that's just written.
Yeah.
When it comes time to do it, especially if he do something that you ain't quite, because he ain't gonna mess with your ability to think. And he do something you go, now Lord, now wait a minute, now hold on, I was going with you, but you know better than that.
Thank you, God.
Wait a minute.
Now hold up a minute, he start talking like black folk. I'm finna leave you right now, because I don't understand what you just see. He does stuff we don't understand. And he still keeps saying, "Stay with me."
Yeah.
And you say, no, wait, I was with you there, but them old folks say the mule done throwed you now.
Yeah.
Don't kick you.
Yeah, I don't get this. Now, why are you doing this? Because everything he's doing is about him.
Yeah.
And he wants people that'll say, let me do it. My wife is reading this thing right now. It's called My Walk with God. And the first thing she learned, I won't say she learned, she already knew it, but the first thing it taught her was suffering is a part of the call. Mm-hmm. I almost want to say you can close that book right now. Gonna tell you it ain't gonna tell you a scripture that you don't know after that. It ain't telling you nothing, and everything is telling her why suffering? Because he as the king has chosen suffering to show forth his glory. Mm-hmm. You can kindly exit stage left if you like. Mm-hmm. Because it ain't funny. Suffering means to undergo pain. Nobody's signing up for pain sandwiches. I'm going to tell you right now. Give me a good old fresh dose of pain early in the morning. No, sorry, Jim Bobby. Make things, he will inconvenience you. Hallelujah. To show off his power. And now, you know that sounds easy.
That's God. Hallelujah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
But most of us don't like the suffering part, including yours truly.
I can endure some pain, but when it gets to a certain point,
when it gets to even just in the natural, brother.
Right.
I mean, a couple weeks ago, I was hucking up stuff and hurting so bad, and I'm sitting on the edge of my bed. I'm telling people about you, and I'm hurting like this. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, seriously.
my head get to ringing so bad.
And all of a sudden, I said stuff like, "This ain't acceptable." I was talking like my wife up there sitting on the edge of this ain't acceptable. This ain't supposed to be.
That's right.
But when the camera go off, I'll tell you why he did it. Something I'd asked for.
There you go.
But I didn't sign up for this one. I asked for it, but I didn't want you to do it like this now. Because this is hurting me. I mean, I had to sit up just to breathe, didn't it? Yeah. It got to the point where just lying down, I could not breathe. Both nose clogged up. I got Vicks vapor rub on the bottom of my foot. I hate the smell of it. Got it in my I literally could not breathe. And I said, I'm getting up out of here. I'm going to see me a doctor tomorrow. They ain't got to tell me to go. I ain't playing like this. When you laying down, my birthday weekend couldn't taste hardly a thing I'm eating. Yeah. Why you want to do this at 56? I had plans.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. He had other plans.
I had plans that week. I was going to eat myself into a coma.
Eating everything.
Saved you in your cholesterol.
It was hurting me bad. Couldn't taste hardly any of my food. And I just said, wow, what is this about? What is this about? Because I know you promised me health and strength. I'm the most exercising man I know. My doctor's telling me you need to cut off this and don't do it. What's going on, right? It ain't going according to plan. Right. Mm-hmm. But all of a sudden, he starts, I can hear him saying little stuff in the midst of what I'm going through that calms me down, that I sit on the edge of the bed and I say, okay, all right, but can I say something?
Don't do that again.
No, I ain't liking this.
I know. Don't do it this way.
Yeah, don't do it. Please don't. I ain't liking this too much, but I'm gonna deal with it. Because walking with him, you cannot walk with him without suffering.
Yes.
You cannot walk with him without enduring some type of pain. It's a part of the process.
Yeah.
And the pain is where he shows off his glory. Now that don't make no sense.
I don't see it.
I don't see it.
I don't see
You asked me to tell you I see it. I'm going to tell you right now. I'd be lying to
totally
you.
up to that.
But I
That's
tell
him.
you, even in the midst of
That's
this,
him.
he's showing me, let me know, he's showing me the difference between king and Lord. And I ain't even put forth a hard effort in studying. I just grabbed it and I was looking at it and it's like, okay, all right. The word dominion refers to the king's authority, his power. The word domain refers to the territory, the property. See, I didn't even look. I knew what that meant just reading it now. Because you cannot be a king without having territory, and you cannot have a territory without authority. If you got territory and no authority, ain't nobody listening to you while you in your territory.
Really?
Yeah.
How are you the king?
Right.
And you the king, but you ain't got no power.
Where your guards at?
I'm just gonna hang out there. And that comedian said, "Look at you." I'm just gonna look at you right there. I'm gonna hang out right there and let that just soak into my brain.
marinate.
So now when I hear people talking about he's king, he's Lord, and you trying to make them two have the same connotation, I'm sitting there going, you probably may not understand because we're in America. We don't deal with kings and lords. The only time we understand the word Lord is landlord when it comes to property. We know property is... Now, what territory is God trying to rule if it's not physical territory? What is it in us or on us that he's trying to rule? Our spirit, which actually speaks to your mind and tell your mind and body what
To do.
He said, I'll lead you and guide you. Who is he talking to? Your spirit. That's the only thing that has connected with you. But most of us are governed by what? Our bodies and our soul. Because in your soul is your imagination. We know what our bodies are. That's why when Paul, I just got it. Keeping it real. When my mother-in-law explained years ago, and I always say she's about one of the best teachers when it comes to explaining stuff and studying stuff and breaking out. She said Corinthians, and y'all probably heard her say this, Corinthians, and she told me just a couple weeks ago, and Thessalonians, both had the same issues. Sexual. And it's the same thing that's killing the world today. And all of that is desires of our carnal flesh. From pulpit to front door, to back door, to side doors. Most of the thing that rock most ministries is sexual. From messing with young girls, messing with young boys, is physical, carnal desires. Which Paul talked about in Corinthians and he talked about in Thessalonians. It's crazy. Because as Sister Leslie just pointed out, he wants to control our spirits, which speaks to our carnal flesh and says, stop it. But we
Don't listen.
don't listen to our carnal flesh.
That's
You
right.
saying, who is that?
And that's all you hear on the news. And somebody done
Every day you turn the news.
Somebody done got killed. Somebody done got raped.
And somebody done got raped. Somebody,
in the prison.
when you rape somebody that's already drunk and laying out, you know you got a problem. Like that boy did in the burger. You are where we were. You know you got a. She's already laying there helpless and defenseless.
What you do?
And you ain't thinking about helping her out, and covering her up, and calling for help. You think about, boy, anybody watching?
No.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
because it's our carnal desires. Carnality, and it's not just sexual, it's greed. It's another one. They call them the 7 deadly sins. These are the things that we as human beings grapple and raffle with every day of our lives. And we could probably be more spiritual, but our carnal flesh gets in the way. And as you were saying earlier, that our desires are not for him.
Well, it's not.
It's not. Not wholeheartedly. And that takes a lot of work.
It's a mind change.
Oh my God, is
It's
it
really constant every day. I remember God told me last week that you have to die daily.
Well, didn't Paul say
Every day you have to, your
Die.
carnal mind, your carnal way, you have to die. Let it go daily. And he was telling me last week, all this week, die daily, die daily, die daily. Okay, I got it. Die daily.
So what, you supposed to die at night or what?
Yeah, no, but I got
go
all
to
these
sleep so
other
you
problems,
wake up
or
right?
not problems, but I got all these other issues that I'm going through or doing. I got to do. I got to go work. I got to but die daily. I said, okay.
But see, go back to that. He will fix all of that if we think that we don't have to fix it.
All right.
So what he's trying to, when he's telling you to die, he's saying, stop trying to figure it out. Stop trying to work it out.
Okay.
Stop trying to do it on your own.
Okay.
I have it already worked out for you. I have it already planned. But the problem is one word, it goes back to that.
Trust.
We don't trust that he is going to work this out.
And
or
we
that he is
know-
all. It is a trust issue. I'm telling you.
And we know-
Yes, he owned me. I ain't got no problem with that. But I don't trust you.
To do what I want you to do.
To do what I want you. I want you to do this for me. And he said, no, I'm already going to work it out like this. No, but I want you to work it out like this. I don't trust that you go. How is that going to benefit me?
Yeah.
So you keep doing your own thing. And you keep doing it your way. And we just saying you're messing it up. And he still hasn't abandoned his plan. He's not going to abandon his plan.
I'm just waiting for you to get out the way.
Thank you for joining us today. I hope you learned some stuff. We're gonna come back. We're gonna marinate on this a little bit and get that word Lord down. Thank you. See you next week.
Like my sister just texted me this morning. What's she saying?
Thank you, God.
Praying for you this morning.